Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is April 19th. The Cubs are hot right now, and for some teams, it might be time to push the panic button. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today here to wrap up the week? I hope you guys had a great week here. They're excited now for some baseball weekend. Baseball weekend coming up here. A lot happening today. A lot to go over. Can't wait to dive into it. Hockey and basketball playoffs starting up now. That's exciting. We love to watch playoffs for those two as well. I think it's the plans today still as well. Go Kings. That is the most random start to an episode I think I've ever had. Taylor Swift's album came out this morning. So happy the Tortured Poets Department Day for anyone who listens to this that's also listening to that, because that's a big thing. All of my Instagrams are highlighted by that, so you'll have to see it. All right, so with that crazy non-existent of an intro wrapped up, let's dive onto what did I say? This is going to be a chaotic episode on my part. It's starting to seem like. Let's dive into our series recap. Let's get it rolling here. Yankees and Blue Jays, a simple start to this series. The Jays scored 2 in the second and 1 in the third off a Kirk double. Yankees couldn't score anything after the second and fall short as they lose to the Blue Jays 3-1. Vlad with 2 hits and 2 RBIs helped get the Jays up 4. The Yankees scored 3 runs in the last third of this game to bring them back within 1. But the return of Jordan Romano helps the Jays lock down the save for the win as they take it 5-4. And then going for the sweep, Dalton Varsho hits 2 home runs as the Jays had a 3-run lead late, but the Yankees weren't going down without a fight. Juan Soto homers his 4th of the year. Then Stanton homers his 5th of the year. That's a 1-run game now in the 9th. Jose Trevino, the base hit that ties it, and then a clutch 2-run single from Judge completes the comeback. The Yankees score 4 in the 9th and take the last game from Toronto to avoid the sweep 6-4. Guardians and Red Sox. The 4-game set here opens with a Will Brennan home run for his first home run of the year. The Guardians scored 2 runs in each of the 7th, 8th, and 9th, while they use 4 pitchers to blank the Red Sox as they take off for the first game of the series 6-0. Boston at one point was down 5-1, but they had hit 3 home runs from Emmanuel Valdez, Tristan Casas, and Connor Wong to tie it. And then Rafael delivers a double that gives them the lead. Andres Jimenez, though, would tie it in the 9th and send it to extras, where in the 11th, the Guardians score 3 runs, with Estevan Floral delivering a 2-run single as they hold Boston in their half and take another game, beating them 10-7. Connor Wong again hits another home run, but the story in this one was with Tanner Hyuk, who throws a complete game shutout, the first complete game from a Red Sox pitcher since Nathan Eovaldi in May of 2022, and this game took 1 hour and 49 minutes. We haven't seen a shorter game since the Armando Galarraga game. Boston wins this one 2-0. And for the final game here, the 4th game, once again, Cleveland out in front by 4. Boston scores 3 in the 6th, but that would be all as the Guardians come to Fenway and take 3 of 4 from the Red Sox as they win it 5-4. Twins and Oilers now. The O's hit 3 home runs from Ryan O'Hearn, Cedric Mullins, and Gunnar Henderson en route to the win in the opener. They take it 7-4. Another game, another 3 home runs. Gunnar Henderson again, Jordan Westberg, and Ryan O'Hearn again as they win it again, 11-3. And how about Gunnar Henderson, leadoff home run in the 3rd game as he homers in all 3 games of the series. Down 1, Anthony Santander ties it with a home run in his 4th for his fourth of the year. And now in the bottom of the ninth tie game, it's Cedric Mullins who crushes a ball for his first ever walk-off home run as Baltimore has a happy fun series at home, sweeps the Twins, 9 home runs, 3 from Gunnar, 2 from O'Hearn, 2 from Mullins. Boogity, 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 4-2, Baltimore takes that last game. Angels and Rays now, not a lot of scoring in this one early. It's 1 run through the first 7 innings, but the 8th inning changes all of that, starting with a go-ahead 2-run home run by Mike Trout to give the Halos the lead, and then later with the bases loaded, a bases-clearing double from Matt Thaiss has the Halos up big. Taylor Ward, he hits a home run in the 9th for good measure, but it didn't matter. The Angels take the first of 4. With 7 runs in the last 2 innings, they make it a 7-3 win. Mickey Moniak and Logan O'Hoppe homer for the Angels, who led by 2 entering the 9th, but the Rays had some devil magic as Jose Caballero delivers a 2-run triple to tie the game and send it to extras. Both teams score 1 run in the 10th and 11th, none in the 12th, so this one gets settled in 13 innings. After the Angels score a run in their half of the inning, Tampa would once again tie the game, but this time they would also win it on an Ahmed Rosario single as he walks it off for the Rays as they even up the series 7-6. Mike Trout homers for his second of the series, but the Rays would be up entering the 9th, looking for back-to-back wins. Problem: Anthony Rendon singles to tie the game, and then Taylor Ward singles to give the Angels the lead. They hold Tampa and get the comeback win in the 9th. They take that game 5-4. The Rays score 2 runs in the first, and don't let the Angels come back this time. It was all pitching in this one. Tampa wins it. They split the 4-game set with the Angels 2 each. They take it 2-1. Royals and White Sox. Seth Lugo pitches 7 scoreless as Vinny Pasquantino homers, setting up a nice Royals win. They take the first game 2-0. Rain on Tuesday sets up the doubleheader Wednesday where the Royals are hitting more home runs. It's Salvador Perez and Hunter Renfroe who go yard. The White Sox can't answer and drop another game, losing 4-2. And for that finals, the Royals are looking for the sweep, but they won't find it as the difference in this one came off a home run from Gavin Sheets as his 3rd home run of the year helps the White Sox avoid the sweep and get them the win 2-1. Rangers and Tigers. Michael Lorenzen and Reese Olson both pitched so great in this game that we only had 1 run scored, and that was from a Marcus Semien forceout. So it was very exciting. 1-4, Texas wins it 1-0. After the Tigers tied the game up in the 6th, it would stay tied until the 8th, where the Tigers scored 2 runs on a Gio Urshela single and a wild pitch. They end up taking the lead and winning that game as they even up the series 4-2. Kerry Carpenter and Parker Meadows homer to help the Tigers tie this game up, but it wouldn't matter because Josh Smith doubles in a run for Texas in the 9th. That's the difference in this one. Tigers can't answer and the Rangers get the win 5-4. And this last game would be special as the Rangers make a call. Jack Leiter making his MLB debut versus Kenta Maeda, and it didn't go according to plan for either pitcher. They combined for 12 earned runs in 6 1/3 innings. Good thing I have them both on my fantasy team. Yeah, detect the sarcasm there, please. Simeon, Jonah Heim, Adolis Garcia, all homer for the Rangers, while the Tigers score 4 runs in the 2nd and 3 in the 4th. 2 Ranger runs in the 8th and 9th make the difference in this one. Texas gets the win, takes 3 of 4 from the Tigers. In Detroit, they win it 9-7. Cardinals and A's. Esteury Ruiz is back where he belongs in the majors and hits his first home run of the season for the only A's run in this one. The Cardinals scored 2 in the 6th, making the difference in this one as they win it 3-1. Kyle McCann hits his first home run of his big league career and drives in the only 2 runs for Oakland. Meanwhile, the Cardinals once again score 2 runs in the 6th, making the difference in this one as they take another close one 3-2. Final game, Asturi Ruiz homers again, and this time the A's don't let the Cardinals score 2 runs in the 6th. Instead, they score 3 runs in the 5th to help them put this one away as they avoid the sweep to the Redbirds and win it 6-3. Reds and Mariners now. A couple of home runs from both teams open this series. Jorge Polanco and Mitch Haniger homer for the Mariners, while Yeimer Candelario and Jake Fraley go deep for the Reds. Despite the equal amount of home runs, the Mariners were in the driver's seat and added with 3 runs in the 7th. They take the first game easily, 9-3. The Mariners score a run in each of the middle 3 innings, that's the 4th, 5th, and 6th, as Logan Gilbert has a great start to earn the Mariners another win as they take it 3-1. Eddie De La Cruz homers for the only Reds run in this one. Unfortunately, it wasn't going to hold the Mariners, who get home runs from Cal Raleigh, Mitch Garver, and Josh Rojas. Those last 2 get their first home runs of the year. The Mariners get the sweep. They beat the Reds 5-1. Braves and Astros, 2 high-level teams, face off as the Braves return to Minute Maid Park since winning the World Series in 2021 and pick up where they left off as they score 2 runs in the 2nd and finish it with a nice cherry on top, 4 runs in the 9th. The Braves cruise to the win 6-1. Orlando Arcia hits his first home run of the year, and once again the Braves score 4 runs in the 9th. The Astros would get their first runs in the 9th as Kyle Tucker homers to break the shutout, but the Astros still lose this one 6-2. Marcell Ozuna hits his tying the league-leading 8th home run of the year, and look who it is. Ronald Acuna Jr. getting on the board finally with his first home run of the year. Yordan Alvarez and Mauricio Dubon homer for the Astros, as we would be tied and head to extras where Orlando Arcia gets the RBI single for the lead, and the Braves hold the Astros. They get the sweep on the road as the Astros wheels keep flying off the bus, getting swept for the 3rd time in the 6 series played so far. They lose again 5-4. Giants and Marlins, an interesting start to this series. Marlins led by 3 with the help from Avisail Garcia with his home run earlier in the game. Giants took the lead in the 7th by scoring 3 runs, and then we had a situation where Bob Melvin called the wrong pitcher to come into the game. They got to switch it, bring in the right guy, and that got Skip Schumaker heated quick, and that led to his ejection. Giants do hold on though and get the win in the opener 4-3. Matt Chapman homers to get the scoring started in this one, but the Marlins would score 5 unanswered runs at one point, and the Giants couldn't get them back. They even up the series as they win it 6-3. Brian De La Cruz homers to tie it in this rubber match, but a run in both the 4th, 7th, and 8th, for the Giants gave them the lead and an insurance run. They hold it and win 2 of 3 from the Finns as they take it 3-1. Rockies and Phillies. Aaron Nola was pitching great. His only mistake was giving up a home run to Michael Toglia, but the Phillies offense wasn't clicking, so we would end up in extras where fear not, Philly faithful, Christian Pache is your hero, coming up with a walk-off single in the 10th to get the Phillies the win 2-1. JT Realmuto and Bryce Harper homer for the Phillies, but it's Ranger Suarez stealing the show, throwing a complete game shutout as he had the Rockies hitters fooled all game, as his masterful performance alongside the couple of home runs get the Phillies the win 5-0. We've got a leadoff Schwarber bomb in this one, and we compare it with a back-to-back jacks from Trey Turner as a flashy start from Philly. Schwarber homers again later on to make it a 6-run lead, and it was a good thing he did so because the Rockies came storming back in this one in the 8th, scoring 5 runs. So that second Kyle Schwarber home run ended up being the difference in this game, as some amazing pitching performances and timely home runs get the Phillies the sweep over the Rockies. They win it 7-6. Pirates and Mets tied late. It's Harrison Bader who delivers with a go-ahead 2-run double, which has Aroldis Chapman very unhappy throughout his entire appearance in that game. He gets hit in the face of the umpire, who throws him out of the game. The Mets end up holding on and take the opener versus Pittsburgh 6-3. Jared Jones continues his hot start to his career with another great outing for him. The Mets, however, would score 3 runs in the 7th and end up taking this one too in comeback fashion. They win it 3-1. It is starring Marte and Harrison Bader who homer in this last game. It's all Mets. They end up with the win and the sweep over Pittsburgh, whose hot start is starting to slow down. They drop the last game too. Mets win it 9-1. Padres and Brewers. The Brewers get off to a nice start with 3 runs in the first 2 innings with a Jackson Chourio home run. The Padres, though, answer big with 6 runs in the 5th as they go batter to batter with singles for those runs. Padres win the first game 7-3. Ha-Sung Kim with the key difference in this one as he crushes a 3-run home run, his 3rd of the year, and that finishes the 4 runs in the first inning. The Padres hold the Brewers from there and win another game, taking it 6-3. Looking for the sweep, and things were looking great with Michael King pitching a gem on the mound, taking a no-hitter into the 7th. The problem was that the Brewers pitching was also good, or the Padres hitters were struggling. Only run comes in the 8th on a Blake Perkins single, so despite taking the no-hitter into the 7th and a masterful job on the mound, Michael King still gets charged with the loss. The Brewers win it and avoid the sweep as they take it 1-0. Cubs and D-backs, he's done it again. Michael Busch homers in 5 straight games, tying the Cubs franchise record. Despite that, the D-backs up by 1 in the 9th until a wild pitch from Kevin Ginkel allows a run to score, so we head to extras where in the 11th, Nico Horner singles in a run. D-backs can't answer. The Cubs take the first game from Arizona. They win it 3-2. An amazing game here as it was fun, high scoring, and back and forth with 4 lead changes. Ian Happ hits a grand slam to give the Cubs the lead. D-backs bring it back within 1, and with 2 outs in the 9th inning, Ketel Marte drives one to right center and deep. It was called the home run. Umpires would review it and confirm it. Marte with the game-tying home run down to their last out. Extra innings again, and this time it's Randal Grichuk who comes up to pinch hit, and he drives one deep in the gap, a walk-off double as he and the D-backs celebrate an amazing win as they're looking to gain some momentum. Arizona wins it 12-11. Ketel Marte continues from where he leaves off from last game, a leadoff home run in the rubber match here. Peterson would also homer in this game, but the Cubs had a nice lead by that point with 2 2-run innings and a home run from Cody Bellinger. The Cubs take 2 of 3 from the D-backs in this series with the win 5-3. Lastly here, we've got the Nationals and the Dodgers. Let the kids play, man. CJ Abrams, Luis Garcia Jr. both go deep in this game as Mitchell Parker makes his MLB debut on the mound versus the Dodgers and does really well, going 5 innings and strikes out 4 as he gets the win in his debut. The Nationals beat the Dodgers 6-4. Second game, we've got more debuts as the Dodgers look to their farm, and it's Andy Pages making his MLB debut, and sure enough, he would get his first MLB hit. Kike Hernandez homers for the Dodgers for his first of the year. Jesse Winker goes yard for the Nationals. The difference in this game was Mookie Betts. He goes 5 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. The Dodgers even up this series 6-2, bringing us to a rubber match, and it's CJ Abrams with a leadoff home run, his second of the series. The Nationals put up 2 in the first, and it was pitching from there. The Nats used 4 pitches to shut down the Dodgers, with Jake Irvin tossing 6 scoreless with 6 Ks. The Nationals come into LA and do a very impressive job. Take 2 of 3 from the Dodgers as they win it 2-0. All right, now let's get into our game of the week, and there is a very clear one here. We're heading to the desert for the Cubs and Arizona Diamondbacks on Tuesday here. Things get rolling here in the bottom of the second. A Blaze Alexander ground out forces in a run. Arizona takes the first lead of the game, 1-0. Top three, it's Miguel Amaya who doubles in a run. Cubs tie it at 1. Very next inning, the bottom of the third, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., his 5th home run of the year, makes it 3-1. And then right behind him, Jock Peterson, his first home run of the year, makes it 4-1 Arizona. Top 5th, it's Miguel Amaya again, this time with the triple scoring a run, making it 4-2. And then Alexander Canario, he'll double to make it a 4-3 game. Nico Horner then doubles, makes it a 4-4 game. And then Cody Bellinger triples to make it a 5-4 game as 4 runs come across in the 5th inning. Bottom of the 5th, it's the Diamondbacks' turn to put up 4 runs. A wild pitch ties the game at 5. Jock Peterson then walks to make it 6-5. Eugenio Suarez with the sac fly makes it 7-5, and then Blaze Alexander with the single makes it 8-5 Arizona. Top 7 now. Here comes the Cubs once again. Christopher Morel, a sac fly, makes it 8-6. Garrett Cooper single makes it 8-7. And then Ian Happ, his first of the year in grand fashion, the Grand Slam, makes it a 6-run inning and an 11-8 Cubs lead. But Arizona's not done. Bottom 7, Blaze Alexander doubles, it's 11-9. Bottom 8, Jock Peterson, sac fly, it's 11-10. Bottom 9th, with 2 outs, down to their final out, Ketel Marte's 4th home run of the year. It was reviewed. It was the right call. Ties it at 11. We head to extras. Drew Smiley comes on the mound. They go to the bench and bring in Randall Grichuk, who hits a double into the gap. Christian Walker comes in to score. The D-backs walk off a wild one, as this was a clear game of the week. Diamondbacks take it 12-11 in extras. A very fun one here. Yeah, very easy call to make here. That is your game of the week. All right, now let's talk about the baseball news from the week, and I want to start with Miami and Giants and the Skip Schumaker situation. I'm going to kind of break this one down for you guys at home here. So, basically, the way it happened here is Bob Melvin, a 1-run lead, is coming up to make a pitching change. The batter on deck, Nick Gordon, is a lefty, and this is in the middle of the 8th inning, so there is already 2 outs in the inning, so it's just 1 out left. Bob Melvin signals for the right-handed pitcher to come out. The problem was that the Giants only had, I'm going to butcher this one because I don't know which brother it was, either Taylor or Tyler Rogers. I think Taylor is the lefty. So Tyler Rogers was already in the game. So Taylor Rogers was warming up. He signals for the right-hander. Taylor is a lefty, but because he's the only pitcher warming up, he starts to make his way into the game. Umpire said, no. He called for the right-handed pitcher, which means that Taylor, I'm not sure how that would work because it's like, okay, I made a mistake, I hit the wrong arm. But regardless, there's a little debate there. Skip Schumaker comes out to yell with Laz Diaz, who is the home plate umpire. And meanwhile, while all this confusion is happening, Camilo Doval, their closer, starts to get loose in the bullpen while all that stuff's happening. They send Taylor Rogers back into the bullpen, which he can still be used because it was a mistake and he wasn't actually classified as a pitcher that was used up in the game. Because if he was, then he would have to face the 3-batter minimum rule. So they send him back to the bullpen, and then Camilo Doval starts to make his way out onto the field, which Skip Schumaker is now getting upset about because while that confusion has been happening, he had time to warm up. So Laz Diaz is telling him that he'll handle it. As Skip Schumaker leaves, he notices the pitch clock, and it's still at 2 minutes. Because the way it works is that when a new pitcher is entering the game, once they step out onto the field, onto the warning track, they leave the bullpen area, they have 2 minutes to go through their check with the umpire, make their way to the mound, and get their few warm-up tosses in. So Skip Schumaker at this point, Duvall's like already getting his hands and everything checked out. So the Giants pretty much stole like 30 seconds off the clock because there was 30 seconds where Duvall was walking around on the field without that 2 minute clock going down, and that's because obviously he was in a heated discussion with Schumaker at the time. So he goes back to yell at Las Diaz, saying that he's going to handle it and fix it. Skip Schumaker, I believe he thinks that because of the 30-second extra and the whole delays and the mistake, that his guy, Gordon, would be awarded a ball. Regardless, Duvall comes in, takes the 2 minutes that's on the clock and everything, does his warm-ups. Then the game restarts, throws a first pitch strike to Gordon, at which Scoop Schumaker notices the count, yells at Lazia saying, hey, how come it's not 1-1? He's like, no, it's 0-1. That was the first pitch. Skip Schumaker at that point gets absolutely livid in the face of Laz. He throws him out, and that's pretty much the situation. I don't know like the specifications of the rules when it comes to pitching changes, besides, like I said, when the player comes on the field, they have the 2 minutes. But in my mind, it was very clear that Bob Melvin made the mistake, because it's Nick Gordon, a lefty. You have a lefty warming up. You bring in Rogers to get the one out, and then Duvall for the ninth. I don't know what went on in his head to make the mistake, but he calls for the right-hander. There's no right-hander. I mean, the whole situation is a little weird to me because it's like, yeah, it's not fair. And Skip Schumaker has all the right to be upset because you have the tying run, which I didn't mention. Tying run is on second base. It's a 4-3 game, right? It's a close game here. Marlins going through the disastrous start to the season and looking at any way to win a game. And I think they kind of got screwed over by the umps here, or at least screwed over in general. Whether the umps were doing the right thing or not, it's hard to say, but regardless, you have a tying run in second with 2 outs in the inning in a 1-run game, and they made the mistake. Like, either Duvall should have come out without getting to warm up, or they would have had to just send out Rogers. I don't know how the rule works where once the manager touches which pitcher, like the arm of the pitcher they want, whether it's the right-handed or left-handed, they can't make that, like, change. So that means a right-hander has to come out at that point, which obviously, he's like, okay, fine, like I'll bring in the righty. Duvall gets the inning and a third save in the game. Just really interesting stuff there between that. So I wanted to bring that up and break it down for you guys there. So yeah, I don't know. Tough situation there for Miami for sure. And believe it or not, that's not the only ejection situation occur on Monday Baseball. We head now to New York for the Pittsburgh Pirates and Mets game here. It's a 3-3 game in the bottom of the 8th. In comes Aroldis Chapman. And, the way it's working out, his first batter is Francisco Alvarez. Strikes him out, but Chapman is just unhappy with the strike zone. When you actually watch back, the pitches that he's most unhappy with are being called correctly. There are a few, a ball that's called a strike that's called a ball, but mostly, like, it's overall pretty consistent kind of throughout. But Chapman is just seems upset in this game. So he starts by striking out Alvarez. Then he strikes out McNeil on a wild pitch. So he ends up getting to run to first base there. So now you have a run on first, 1 out. Then he walks DJ Stewart. Then he's just not paying attention. They both get to steal. So now you have it's a tie game, 1 out with runners at third and second, and an unhappy Aroldis Chapman. He pitches now to Harrison Bader, who will double the 2-run score. And at this point, Chapman he just walks up to the umpire, the home plate, Edwin Moscoso, I hope. He just goes up there, puts the glove in his face, says something, which obviously we can assume it wasn't great. He gets ejected, and then he's like, well, what did I do? Like, what did I, that's BS. Like, and then he gets up in the face of him. It was announced, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago. He's going to get a 2-game suspension for his antics in that game. But regardless, just kind of a weird look in general, a bad look. It'd be one thing if all the pitches that he was getting upset about were actually strikes that were being called balls. but most of them were just borderline pitches that weren't going his way. And even if it's borderline, umpires can make a mistake here and there, but like they were all kind of being called correctly to begin with. Just a weird situation for Chapman. He'll face his 2-game suspension. I don't think he's appealing it. So obviously he knows whatever he said was not the correct wording choice, and we'll do his punishment there. All right, moving along. Let's talk about Mr. Tommy Pham, as he is finally in arrangement with a deal. It's the White Sox. Tommy Pham signs a 1-year deal worth $3 million with up to $1.5 million in incentives. I want to talk about Tommy Pham for a little bit, man, because this guy has been one of the sneakier, underrated players in baseball for a long time. His earlier days with the Cardinals, his days with the Rays, Padres, Reds, Boston. He's jumped around from team to team here. And, on the day-to-day, he's not going to be your everyday guy. He's playing up, 144 games in his best seasons, I guess, in his 30s here. The 36-year-old, or going to be 36-year-old, definitely was a hero in the Arizona Diamondbacks playoff run last year. His time spent with Arizona was great. 6 home runs, a 720 OPS. Those are good numbers from your bench back, really. He wasn't playing every day. He wasn't out there. Once he really caught on fire, he was playing pretty much daily. But, this is a guy who, isn't going to do much on the White Sox in terms of leading the team anywhere. The White Sox are a bad team. They're not going to be doing nothing. But this is a cool move for the White Sox because this is a guy who is clutch, who has playoff experience in the moments. He's a good ball player, good outfielder still. And he still swings the bat pretty nicely. 10 years in the big leagues. So, regardless, whatever happens, he's going to get traded at the deadline. That's like almost a guarantee. There's no reason for the White Sox to keep him. The only way that doesn't happen is if he's playing really badly. But even if he's doing a half-decent job, there's going to be an offer somewhere that the White Sox are going to take. There's no reason not to. You're not doing anything with the veteran, and you get a prospect or two out of it. You never know, right? So for the White Sox, you just hope he plays well, obviously, so you can get to trade him for a better prospect than you're hoping for. Worst case scenario is that he really isn't performing well and ends up not being able to find a suitor. But basically, this is just someone's going to get a clutch bat, hopefully, at the trade deadline. So it'll be good to see him back in the lineup, though, see him with the White Sox and see what he can do for them. As this is, I believe, his 9th team in the big leagues. Hang on here. Let's double check here. Cardinals for 5 years, Rays for 2, Padres for 2, Arizona, Mets, Reds, Boston. His 8th team in the big leagues here with the White Sox, and possibly 9th by the end of it, depending on where he's traded to, if he's traded, of course. But still, good for Tommy Pham to get back in the game finally, age 36. So hopefully he still got it with the White Sox. He'll be batting high up on that lineup. There really isn't anybody else there that would make him from not batting in the top 5. So good stuff there. All right, now let's talk about the Chicago Cubs, as well as a couple other teams who I'm not sure about right now. They're in some sticky water. The Cubs right now have had a great start to the April, of course, after having a tough first series in Texas. They've turned it on here in April. They have won 10 of 15. They've only lost 5 games this month. They've won series against the Dodgers, the Mariners, the D-backs, and swept the Rockies. So a very impressive month for the Cubs. They're looking really good right now as they head now into a 4-game set with the Marlins, who, based on their struggles, the Cubs really could be making a push now for first place in the division. And things are really clicking for the team as a whole. Dansby Swanson looks good. Bellinger looks good. Horner looks good. Like name a player. Shota Imanga has been great for the Cubs. Still hasn't given up a run. So yeah, there's a lot of things to be happy right now if you are a Cubs fan. The division is a close division, right? Let's not get that too out of sync here. The division is right then and there. The Cubs are smack dead in the second place right now, half a game behind the Brewers for first, half a game above the Pirates for third. So like a lot still happens. It definitely helps the Cubs, the Pirates, and Reds both got swept and lost the last three games because, like I said, the Cubs right now, 6-4 in their last 10. It's a very simple number there, but overall, it's really good. And of course, Michael Busch, 5 home runs straight. Of course, that streak ends on Tuesday's game, the Tuesday Wild game. And even that game, right? The Cubs, they won the series against the Diamondbacks, but that second game wasn't really more of a Cubs failure, more than a Diamondbacks successful comeback and a crazy game for them as well. But the Cubs still balled out in that game. They still had a great game. Ian Happ with the grand slam. They put up 11 runs. Like, despite it being a loss, it was still a great game for the Cubs. The bullpen's clicking. Like, there are a lot of things to be happy right now if you're a Cubs fan. The Brewers offense, let's be honest, it's not going to hold for the season. Things are going to catch up to the Brewers. Right now, like I said, I think the division is in the hands of the Cubs as of now. Of course, the Brewers right now are still, playing really well, and their offense has been good. But I think as we go month to month, we're going to see the switch at some point, and if the Cubs can stay on it, right now it seems like it's the Cubs' division to lose. By Monday, I'm sure they'll be in first place. They have a series against the Marlins. They're 4-15. Yikes. Miami, man, turn it on. I mean, that kind of brings us to the other point here is the teams. There are some teams right now that need to turn it on and start to worry. The Marlins technically are one of those teams. Listen, you're 4-15 to start the year. It's not great. I thought Miami was going to be a little bit more competitive this year coming into the regular season. So far, that hasn't happened. Do I think they can still get there? I hope so. Like, I really do believe in them, but we need to start seeing something. Like the next 4 or 5 series, don't lose the series. Take 2 of 3, or the 4 games with the Cubs. Take 2 of those games. At least win 2 games against the Cubs, and we'll see where that brings you for your next series. But Miami right now, a little bit in panic mode. But let me jump to the AL because there are 2 teams right now who, in my mind, are in full-blown panic mode. First one being the Minnesota Twins. Listen, they have lost 4 straight. They're 3-7 in their last 10, and they are pretty much closer to the White Sox for last than they are the Tigers for third. The Royals have been playing great. The Guardians are obviously a great team, but for the Twins right now, after the first 6 series of the year, to find themselves 4th is not where they want to be, I'm pretty sure. And it's not like they've had hard games and hard series either. Like, they have just not been able to find a way. Obviously, they just got swept by the Baltimore Orioles. That's a tough team to compete with. They dropped 2 games to the Dodgers. That's a tough one. They lost 2 games to the Guardians. They took 2 of the 4 against the Tigers. They split the series there. They have the Tigers this weekend. And I think if you're the Twins, winning this series is really important because it kind of sets up the rest of April. They finish it with a 4-game set against the White Sox, then a 3-game set against the Angels, and that brings them into May with another 3-game set against the White Sox. So they have 7 games against the White Sox, 3 versus the Angels coming up here. Those could be games where the Twins can really turn it on here. So if you're Minnesota, you got to do well against the Tigers here, and you really got to start winning games. Yes, it's still early, but you don't want to come into, getting close to the All-Star break in like June, July, and still be 4th, right? Like, there needs to be that change. Yes, the Tigers are playing well, the Royals are playing well. Could those teams start to fall off a little bit? Definitely, but right now the Twins don't look much better. And speaking of not looking much better, how about Houston? We are now almost a month into the season, and they're still last in the AL West. They're 6-14. That's a problem, Houston. It's time to panic. Yes, it's early, but still, that is crazy that you guys are 6-14. That's not great. They just were swept by the Braves. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They have the Nationals this weekend, But listen, the Nationals just took 2 of 3 from the Dodgers. So, I mean, these aren't going to be easy games for the Astros right now. And then they got the Cubs, who we just talked about as being one of the hotter teams in baseball right now. I mean, this is just not the Astros right now. And listen, they've been swept in their series. They got swept by the Royals. They got swept by the Braves. They got swept by the Yankees. We've played 6 series so far. They've been swept in 3 of them. The only other team that's been swept in the same amount of games is the White Sox. That's not the company you want to be in. We're talking about the Marlins and Rockies, who are 4-15, and they've both of them just been awful. They haven't even been swept that much. The A's are 8-11. You are 2.5 games back of the Oakland Athletics, and that's not even to mention the 5 games back you have to make up on the Rangers right now. I mean, the thing that goes for them is like, yeah, Texas is 11-9, they're first place in the West. They should be higher. This is the point where the Astros right now are so low. They are sucking so much right now. They're 6-14, dead last in division. This is Texas's chance, or even Seattle right now, who's third and tied with the Angels. This is one of their chances to break a huge lead. One of those two teams need to get hot right now and build a lead that's going to make it really hard for the Astros to come back into right now. But let me tell you, Houston needs to figure something out. I don't know what's wrong with them, because I look at the numbers, their players are doing decently well. There's not like one guy. Maybe it's the pitching. It's the home games too, which are really like just unfortunate. The 4-game sweep, to the Braves and Yankees. That's 7 games that they've lost on the road. Make it 8 with Texas and 9 with the Blue Jays. They've lost 9 games at home. Like Minute Maid Park has become a bad place for the Astros to be playing baseball right now. You look at their guys right now, like the players who are balling out and putting in the work. Altuve has turned on a really hot streak here. He's got a 1.137 OPS. Jordan's got 5 home runs, a 912 OPS. Kyle Tucker's okay. I guess the other guys, Bregman hasn't really done anything yet. He has no home runs yet. 661 OPS, that's not really Bregman. Abreu, another cold start to the year for him. He's 4 for 51. 4 hits and 51. He's 0.78 batting average. Yeah, not looking good. Taking a look at the pitching here. What's the problem? Astro fans, let me know if there's an Astro fan watching, listening to today's episode. Let me know what's going on with you guys, because something's up. And I don't know. Like, they had the no-hitter. Like, that's going to be the highlight of their season so far, is that they had a no-hitter, and they haven't been able to do anything with it since. They did call up Forrest Whitley to pitch at the bullpen, which is fun. Once a top prospect, out with some injuries. He hit a batter, got a walk, and allowed a hit in his first appearance. Pitched to 2/3, but didn't get a run, so good stuff there. We'll see how that goes. Christian Javier has done really well, a 1.54 ERA in his 4 starts, 23 1/3 innings pitched. So that's, a positive there. Framber Valdez has been okay. Obviously, Ronald Blanco's been brilliant. Josh Hader, man, maybe that's a big struggling point. Josh Hader has not looked good. He has given up 7 earned runs in 6 2/3. He's a 9.45 ERA. He has a loss. He has no saves on the year. No, he has 1 save. But that's not great. 14 strikeouts. I'm pretty sure he gave up like 7 or 8 runs all of last year. So the fact that he's already at that number, it has not been a welcoming start for him. Ryan Presley hasn't been good. Brown's been struggling. So maybe it's the bullpen and the back end of that rotation that's really causing some issues for the Astros. But, I mean, that's no excuse, man. The hitters need to be playing better. Bregman, this is your contract year. Turn it on, man. This is a panic situation for these teams right now, especially the Astros. They need to turn it on quick. All right, lastly here really quickly, the Mets have unveiled their City Connect jerseys, and honestly, I really like them. I don't know how you guys feel about them. I think it's really clean. MLB has their video, and I saw it on Instagram. displaying all of the quirks of the city and how it's incorporated into the jersey. The purple, because obviously, well, not obviously for me, because I'm not from New York, but I guess the purple line takes you to City Field, so there's a lot of heavy or like very like silent purple in the jersey, which kind of really pops and stands out because it's a nice like gray concrete, the concrete jungle. Um, it's a really cool jersey. It's simple, but it is nice. So I'm pretty happy with it. Let me know how you guys feel about it. If you guys don't like it, I definitely people are just gonna hate on it regardless. There's one guy I see always in any comment section, whether it be on Twitter or Instagram or X and Instagram. He just hates all of the City Connect jerseys. Like this guy just sounds like a major bummer to me. But yeah, it seems like it's a nice jersey. It's definitely not one of my favorites, but it's definitely I would put it more on the good side than the bad side. I think it's a nice like 7 out of 10, 7.5 jersey. So yeah, Mets fans, let me know. Baseball fans, let me know. What are your thoughts on the Mets City Connect jerseys? All right, let's power through some of the nuances now, our usual stuff. Injury updates. Seiya Suzuki from the Cubs. That's a tough blow. He's on the IL with an oblique strain. Ozzy Albies for the Braves on the IL with a right toe fracture. Christian Yelich for the Brewers. He's on the IL with low back strains. That's a problem for the Brewers. Yu Darvish. He's on the IL with neck tightness. Look at that. A pitching injury that doesn't have to do with an elbow. That's lucky stuff there. Chris Bryant, he's on the IL with a low back strain. Garrett Whitlock from the Red Sox on the IL with a left oblique strain. And rounding off that is Robert Stevenson from the Angels. He's out for the season with an elbow injury, most likely going to need Tommy John surgery there. So that's a tough blow for the Angels, who so far this season haven't looked awful. Let's go into outstanding performances. We've got a nice list for us here today. Starting off, I want to talk about just overall shout out Philly starters. I mean, yes, it was the Rockies, but still very impressive. 22 and a third innings pitched, 16 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 27 strikeouts. Breaking that down, we have Aaron Nola, 7 and a third, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 9 Ks. Ranger Suarez, the complete game shutout, 9 innings pitched, 7 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 8 Ks. And then Christopher Sanchez, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 10 Ks. So really good stuff there overall for that trio. Obviously, yes, it's the Rockies, but still very impressive. Seth Lugo, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks. Edward Cabrera, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 10 Ks. Jared Jones of the Pirates looks great, man. 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, 7 Ks. Yusei Kikuchi, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts there against the Yankees. Jake Irvin, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 6 Ks. That's against the Dodgers. Michael King, despite getting the loss, he had a no-hitter through 6 2/3, 7 2/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 10 Ks. That's a tough one there. Tanner Hyuk, the first complete game for the Red Sox since Eovaldi in May of 2022, 9 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 9 Ks. And how about Albert Suarez here? Special shout out to him. He hasn't pitched in the majors since September 26, 2017, and he had a nice start for Baltimore. 5 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 4K. Special shout out Albert Suarez there. Yeah, really cool stuff there from him. Moving on, we've got our stat leaderboard. Time to take a look at the numbers here because we got a lot of changes. Starting it off, average. Jose Altuve now leads it at 388. For hits, it's a 3-way tie between Altuve, Betts, and Ohtani, all tied with 31 hits. Home runs, last week it was tied between Trout and Tyler O'Neill. This week it's tied between Trout and Marcell Ozuna, both with 8 home runs on the year. RBIs, now Marcell Ozuna single-handedly leads that category at 23. Leading the league in runs is Mookie Betts at 12. That doesn't seem right, but maybe it is. Juan Soto leads the league in walks now with 18. Of course, he did it so pretty much all of last year. I'm assuming he's going to do so all of this year now. Bryce Terang still leads in stolen bases with 9. And now it's Mookie Betts and Jose Altuve tied in OPS with 1.137. Looking at the pitchers, we'll go backwards here. Leading the league in saves, it's still Clay Holmes, but he's brought some friends with him. Ryan Helsley from the Cardinals and Kyle Finnegan from the Nationals. Those 3 guys each with 7 saves on the season so far. Leading the league in strikeouts, it is just Tyler Glasnow with 34. And leading the league in ERA, there's one guy yet to have given up a run. Paul Blackburn not on the list anymore. It's Shota Imanga with your Cubs. He has yet to give up a run still. We'll have to see him make another start, though. He's technically not classified, but I classify him. And then lastly here, I'm just going to read out this whole thing because this is annoying. I need someone to win a baseball game and to break away here. Leading the league in wins with 3. Jose Barrios, Cody Bradford, Garrett Clevenger, Reed Detmer, Zach Gallen, Tyler Glasnow, Tanner Hyuk, Craig Kimbrell, Seth Lugo, Bryce Miller, Shelby Miller, AJ Minter, Elvis Peguero, Grayson Rodriguez, Ranger Suarez, and Luke Weaver. Holy moly, 16 guys tied with 3 wins on the year. So hopefully that we get more of a breakaway at some point because I'm not going to be reading out all the names every time, but that's your onslaught of names for you there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your stat leaderboard. Moving on now, we have our upcoming series for the weekend. And it's going to be a fun weekend here. We have the Rays at the Yankees. Always a fun time when these 2 teams meet up. Oilers at Royals. Tigers at Twins. A's at Guardians. Astros at Nationals. Yeah, it's only 4 AL teams hosting home games, which is weird. Astros at Nationals. Rangers at Braves. That's going to be a fun a little World Series matchup. That it is kind of a little battle there of top teams. White Sox at Phillies. Marlins at Cubs. Angels at Reds. Red Sox at Pirates. Brewers at Cardinals. D-backs at Giants. Mets at Dodgers. Mariners at Rockies. And we round it off with Blue Jays at Padres. So, yeah, those are the games to be keeping an eye out for this weekend here. As we'll finish it up now with our playoff predictor, looking at the standings right now. The Rangers in the 3 spot, taking on the Rays in the 6 spot. And lo and behold, it's the Rays with the upset as they beat the Rangers. And in the other wildcard series, it's the Royals at the Oilers. And obviously, Baltimore's Young Birds take them to the win. They get it and head to the DS, where it'll be Rays at Yankees and Oilers at Guardians. And we're going to have an AL East ALCS matchup because the Yankees will beat the Rays and the Oilers will beat the Guardians. So here we go, Oilers and Yankees for the ALCS. And it's the Yankees who take down the Orange Birds there. They head to the World Series. On the NL side of things, your Dodgers... Whoa, my Dodgers in the 3 seed is crazy. I had to stop myself. Did I write that correctly? They face the Pirates in the 6 seed. The Dodgers will beat the Pirates there. Cubs and Phillies. Phillies at Cubs. Cubs being the 4 seed. They beat the Phillies and head to the NLDS. So we'll have the Dodgers at the Brewers and the Cubs at the Braves, and lo and behold, it's the top 2 teams. The Braves and the Brewers do the job. They beat the Dodgers and Cubs. Head to the NLCS. Brewers at Braves there, and lo and behold, it's your Atlanta Braves making it all the way now to the World Series for a Yankees-Braves World Series. And sorry, Yankees fans, it's the Braves who are your 2024 World Series champions. So says the wheel there. That is your playoff predictor, and that is your episode here. A little bit of a lengthier one, but that's okay because, it was fun. Got some good stuff out of it, some good conversation. But yeah, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys. Go and enjoy this weekend. Go catch a game. Why don't you? Basketball and hockey playoffs are starting, so your attention's gonna be a little 50-50. So you gotta go out and enjoy a baseball game when you can. Hopefully your team's in town. Taylor Swift, go listen to the album. Don't know why I'm promoting that. But yeah, no, it's gonna be a fun weekend. Hopefully, a good, enjoyable weekend of baseball, and hopefully, you guys have a great weekend. And hopefully, you guys are happy and healthy and having a great, life. What am I doing right now? I gotta go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, everybody, so much, and I will see you on a Monday.